All right, hello and welcome to episode 2, week 1 of the Football is King podcast. We are 4 gentlemen who never played more than middle school football, who know more than
ninth grade. I played ninth grade.
Oh, sorry. We have one little bit of high school football in Texas.
I considered playing again, but
okay, we have one who thought about playing football. And we're here to tell you that we know more than NFL head coaches for sure. Definitely more than NFL GMs.
Especially Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy, and I mean we can throw in the Jones family with that as well. All right. So it is week 1. I think we had almost what I would define as the perfect week 1 of college football. We had some upsets. We had some games that were on all of the drugs. And we're getting ramped up for NFL week 1 as well this week. So we're going to get to that in just a little bit. But first, we have some very breaking news that came across our news desk this week. First and foremost, the man, the myth, the legend, Stephen A. Smith has said that if the American people want him to run, he will run for president of the United States. He didn't say what ticket he'll run on. Gentlemen, first, do we think is he running red or is he running blue?
He's running his own. He's Stephen A. Yeah.
Oh, we're going third party. So I apologize to all of our third party listeners out there.
Where's Stephen A. from? What city is he from again?
He's from New York, isn't he?
Oh,
yeah, I gotta say,
from the Bronx.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the hardcore blue there. You know, the left side.
I don't know about that, sir. Because, he doesn't like weed. We know that for sure. He really, he will tell you if you are being blasphemous, like he is. I mean, he knows the good book. So I don't know. He might be running red.
He's vaxxed. I can guarantee that one. So
he for sure is vaxxed because he works for ESPN.
Yeah, I was gonna say
much like me, I'm now 2.5 weeks post-vax, feeling as good as ever.
There we go.
But is he triple vax? That's the real question.
But here's the thing: I'm not against this move if Stephen A. wants to become president, simply for the sound bites. Did y'all see Biden's little speech the other week where he had red lights behind him? Can you imagine Stephen A. up on that stage? That would be unbelievably electric.
It would be quite great.
Can you imagine?
I mean, Biden looked like a disheveled old man. We need the energy of Stephen A. up there in front of the red lights, looking like a communist dictator. Unbelievable.
His running mate has got to be Skip Bayless.
Exactly what I was going to say. Skip Bayless.
I'm voting for him.
Yeah. They can rekindle their friendship over politics.
Well, I'm sure that's the winner right there.
Will they ever be able to get anything done though, or will they just argue the whole time?
What we got now.
Yeah.
I think it would be better if it was Skip and Stephen A. were running against each other for president.
The debates
would be great.
Be electric. Yeah.
They just rename the debate Cold Pizza and we just go for it.
I would love to see LeBron's tweets if Stephen or if Skip Bayless somehow ends up in the White House. LeBron would be going off on Twitter.
I think Skip would try to arrest LeBron James.
You know, actually, I like
Aaron Rodgers would be in prison forever for the ayahuasca. I can tell you that.
I actually like Brittany Griner as one of the VP candidates. That would be a good pick.
She has to get out of prison first.
I think Skip Bayless 100% picks Tom Brady as his running mate. Him or Baker Mayfield.
I was going to say Baker. I think it's Baker. He's going to ask Baker to retire as a 27-year-old, 26-year-old from the NFL to be his vice president.
Hey,
well, being vice president may be a better option for him.
I was gonna say if I'm Baker Mayfield's agent, I'm saying take that deal in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm on board though. I'd vote for him.
Yeah, I think it'd be an interesting debate. For sure.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm not gonna vote for him. Can't stand to hear the guy rant. I can't even imagine him as president.
Yeah. So that's kind of some silly news. Let's get on to the actual serious news. This weekend,
good.
the College Football Board of Regents, or whatever they're called, decided that we're going to have 12 teams in the playoff.
I already know that we're about to argue about this, and it's going to be great. I'm 100% on board, in favor. Give me more football.
This is about to be 3-1. This is going to be a 3-1 argument. We
That's
all
okay.
want
Give me
12
more
teams.
Is
football.
Austin a purist? Oh my
I'm
god!
not a purist. I'm just not an idiot.
Can
Dude,
you imagine? Can you imagine in a total alternate universe where Alabama's ranked like number 11, and they have to travel to like a 6th ranked, I don't know,
Oregon?
University of Washington, and the University of Alabama has to go to the University of Washington and play a football game, and it's going to be 33 degrees,
They're
sleeting
never going to
rain.
do that.
No,
It's going to be at
It's
a
going to be
neutral
awesome.
field. It'll be at a
No,
neutral
the
field.
first round is going to be in the home team state, or in the top seed stadium.
That's even stupider. It's just
They
so
already
dumb.
decided.
It's so
No,
dumb.
that's
They're going to have home playoff games.
Austin,
gonna be awesome.
You're not seeing the point here.
Oh, I'm seeing the point. It's all
This
about
is
I
money.
know
how the
Austin-
game grows.
The
I
game
saw
is
so many
huge.
sports writers. Great. I saw so many sports writers this weekend be like, all y'all expansionists in favor of this, look at Georgia and Oregon. Okay, that was a preseason poll. Who put stock in a preseason poll? I
no
don't.
one.
All right, first off,
Hey,
no,
I
that's an
posed.
easy
Go
argument.
ahead, Jonathan.
An easy argument. Oregon is only ranked where they were because of what they've done in the past. Just as Texas only gets ranked top 25 every year because of 20
They
years
were-
ago.
They were not ranked this year.
Besides,
No, I know.
yep, this year.
But we
Only the
live.
coach poll.
The problem is these polls, these preseason polls,
number 7.
are literally decided based off historical knowledge. It's bullshit. Like you
If-
can't
if I have
tell
to-
me that you looked at Oregon's team with a new quarterback, new coach, new offensive coordinator. Like you can't tell me you thought that team was just going to turn around and be that good.
Well, they
No,
have had like the past like 4 or 5 years, like top 10 recruiting classes.
But
But
if I have to
regardless,
be devil's
I'm just
advocate,
go for it.
A&M did not look like a number 6 team in the nation. And
Let's
I
say
am
number
the
6
one
then.
that
we're talking about
I-
a 12-team playoff, not about these rankings.
no,
say
I'm
number
just
6
saying
though.
Johnny brings up preseason ranking. I'm just saying I hate preseason rankings
I
more
didn't
than the
bring
rest
it
of
up.
them
They brought
because
it up.
because I don't want teams to be ranked that high. So, but
I don't
but
think the
I-
first ranking should come out until after week 1.
Well, the
no,
real
week
rankings
3.
don't.
We should get through week 3 before we start ranking people.
Truthfully, the AP poll doesn't matter. The college football playoff rankings come out in November, first week of November.
Yeah.
Like the AP poll doesn't matter, but it is funny seeing all these people on Twitter be like, "Well, all you expansionists, this number 2 or 3, whatever, just killed number 11." It's like, well, that was preseason.
Okay,
It's
let's
good for the
talk.
game.
Hey, let's talk postseason then. Last year,
I
Last
agree
year,
with you.
the Georgia Bulldogs would have had to play a team with the likes of either being Utah, Ole Miss, Oklahoma. You're telling me that they're not 25-point favorites against all of them
Yes.
at home?
That's great.
I think
That's
there are
great.
3
Now-
teams, or I think there's really 2 teams. I think there are 2 teams that are head and shoulders above everyone. Georgia.
So what's the point of adding
Georgia and
10
Alabama.
more?
I don't even know that I put Ohio State in that category. I somewhat agree, but I'm also on board with I just want to watch more important football.
No,
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's fine.
I'm not saying
I
I'm not
understand
saying that the number
aspect.
11 seed is going to walk through and win, but I'm saying I would love to watch the 11 seed play whatever other seed and see what happens.
it's good. It's good for football. The first couple of years, it's just going to be Alabama, Georgia, maybe Clemson, Ohio
And then,
State.
and
Just the
then 10
regular
more years
cast
of
beating up
Alabama,
on
Georgia, and then 10 more years of Alabama, Georgia, and then 10
No,
But it's
more.
going to be that way
Then-
regardless.
Then Nick
Saban
Saban
can't
finally
live
dies,
forever.
and then it's going to be somebody else.
But my thing is, it's going to be that regardless. And right now we have like the Rose Bowl, right, which is a great.
I say
historical
change
game,
the bowl
whatever.
system. That's my system.
That's fine. The Rose Bowl last year, Ohio State, every single player sat out. That's why we had Jackson Smith and Jigba go off for 400 receiving yards, which is cool. Don't get me wrong, but that wasn't Ohio State from 2021. That was Ohio State 2022 playing.
Yeah, I think we need a change to the bowl system for sure. But I think, and I'm
We'll
sure
provide some
putting them in the
incentives or
playoffs.
something.
I'm sure putting them on the playoffs is probably the best way to ensure that the players that are going to go to the NFL actually play.
They're
But
gonna
I'm
play.
afraid of the exact same thing that happened with the Alabama Crimson Tide last year, who probably actually were the better football team than the Georgia Bulldogs. And then Mechie gets hurt in the SEC championship game. Extra games equals big injuries matter. Big injuries to key players are important, and playing an extra game or two, if you're not one of the teams that get a bye, just increases your chances of that.
That Georgia team last year was unreal.
What happened in the SEC championship game?
Yeah,
Alabama
I mean,
smacked
I'm not saying that
smacked them in
Alabama's
the
unreal
mouth.
every time. Alabama's unreal too. But I'm just saying, like, to say that Alabama was the better team probably isn't. Like, they were if they played
No,
10 games,
they are. Yeah, they play 10 times. They could probably go 5-5. But
Yeah.
also, then you look at it, the same thing. Jamison Williams. I mean, his life didn't get ruined. His life got dramatically changed, tearing his ACL playing more football games.
I agree with that too. If they're going to the NFL, they're going to end up playing potentially 17 games the next year.
But the difference between that early first round paycheck and that second, third round paycheck is a big deal.
But now kids are getting paid.
Austin, do you think that if you're a bottom 6 seed and you've got maybe on that team 1 or 2 guys that are professional players, they're going to sit out? They're not going to.
No,
they're not going to go play Alabama.
No, not if they're in the playoff.
If they're in the playoffs, they're playing for sure.
They're
If
playing.
I'm an agent, I'm telling them sit out. You're not winning this game anyhow.
They don't have agents.
They don't have an agents.
They're not allowed to have agents. Or
Yeah, they are.
No,
No,
college football players are not allowed to have an agent, or you are disqualified.
Can't you have financial
allowed them
advisors
to hire
or something?
agents?
They cannot hire an agent. They can have assistance for their monetary issues, but they cannot have an agent.
An agent.
Sounds a lot like an agent.
I'm just saying they can't have an agent.
My other argument in favor of this is, what year was it when Ohio State won? It was 2016.
Yeah, I think 4 teams is good. There's only 4 teams that can win the national championship.
Well, I guess that was my argument, was they were the number 4 seed debatably, because I think it was Baylor and TCU both thought they should have been in. Ohio State gets in, and then they just bowl through everyone to win the national championship. Who's to say the 5th team couldn't do it?
I was 100% or whatever. I'd be on like 85% expanding to 8 teams. I think skipping 8 and going straight to 12 is dramatic. And it's just a cash grab.
I'd be in favor of 8 if they did no automatic bids. It should be all at larges.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm totally down with that. Because
some of the
conferences, Pac-12, Big 12 suck. So it's just like, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there should be any automatic bids. Now, I think they decided there's going to be 6 conference champions, which is total baloney. But you have 6 at-larges, so that solves that problem.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're not called agents. They're management firms.
Exactly. They have management
NIL
firms.
Money and contracts.
Which is good. They need
a fucking agent.
No, I'm just saying 18-year-olds or whatever, 17, 18-year-olds, they need a money manager. Like if they don't have a money
because they don't realize
manager,
they're going to be paying taxes.
They don't understand.
I'm fine with them having an agent. If you don't pay the kid, let them have a fucking agent.
Agents are different though. Agents are also trying to help themselves, not trying to do what's best for the player.
That's fine.
A money manager is doing the same thing too.
Yeah, you think these NIL money managers aren't doing that?
Oh,
regardless, if you're in the
playoff,
you're playing. You're playing if you're in the playoff. You're not sitting.
Yeah, they're playing in the playoffs.
If you're in the Rose Bowl and you're playing, and it's Ohio State and whoever it was last year, and Oregon, whoever it was, Utah, you're not playing because who cares about that game?
I say start putting it in their NIL contracts.
Yeah.
Well, I said
they play in bowl
games. The bowl should provide incentives, like the winning team, whoever plays should get whatever cut of the money.
Yeah,
the Rose Bowl's making a ton of money.
Yeah, exactly.
They're making hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Give them $25,000 or something if they win the game.
I think the expansion of the playoffs is good for recruiting purposes because now you don't have to go to Alabama to be in the playoffs.
I agree.
You don't have to go to Ohio State. You don't have to go to Clemson. You don't have to go to Georgia. You can go to Oregon, A&M. You can go to these schools that end up in the top 10, but don't get to go to the playoff. And now you're looking at like, well, now I have a chance. Now, if I can get 5 guys to not go to Alabama and I can get them to go to A&M because that's just the school I want them to go to. If I can get them to go to A&M instead of Alabama, now we add more players there. And
We
then
already got
Oregon
that
does the same
money.
thing. No, we got money.
So I just said that's why we
Drill,
got the number
baby,
one recruiting
drill.
class last year. Supposedly.
Exactly. So like the thing is this is good for parity in football. I don't think in 10 years we're seeing 4 teams constantly win titles. I think we
will
see
say-
a lot more teams playing for it.
I will say after the first couple of years, there's going to be people out there be like, "Oh, we need more than 12." We don't need more than 12.
No.
That's the talk.
You're right.
But we did.
You're right.
We need
Cincinnati,
more than 4.
UCF.
They're all going to be saying we need 16, 24, whatever. We don't need more than 12.
But we need more than 4. 4 is not enough. It's
I agree
not.
with that.
4 is not enough. You can't go over 12. I agree. You can't make football into freaking March Madness. That's insane. That's not sustainable.
I would
But
love
you,
it though.
you gotta. It would be
players- the
amazing
players
for,
would
for
die.
viewership.
I would
Oh,
love
they
it,
would
though.
boycott. They would boycott. Absolutely.
I think the
I'll
other
take
biggest
12.
problem is, can you definitively tell me the difference between the number 12 and the number 13 team? I think there's a big difference a lot of the times between 4 and 5. I think that there's a very, very tiny difference between 12, 13, 14.
No,
15,
because
My-
A&M proved that what was it last year, 2 years ago, that we should have been in the playoff no matter.
My argument to
know
that is
I'm biased.
if you're the 5th team, you have a lot better argument than if you're the 13th team, because a 4th place team is
yes.
1. A 13th team, you should have been number 12. I don't know what to
Yeah.
say. Now, who ranks that? It's a committee, so there's going to be biases and all that.
It's also
But,
going to
I
be a
mean, if you're
committee
the-
of people who have not watched a single game of team number 13 or team number
Yes.
14 or team
Agreed.
number
Or
15.
That's the problem.
So
Have
I
you
think
seen
it's
the
just
room
going to
they
cause
sit in? They got
I
3
think-
small TVs, and they're all sitting there like they're business people. I'm like, sit back on the couch, have a cold beer, and watch some football like a normal
and
person.
those rankings of 5, 6, 7, 8, like those are important that they get them right.
Yeah.
If they're getting
Agreed.
them incorrect, like matchups matter.
Especially if
so-
you're talking home playoff games.
So I think that there's, this is going to be amazing for us. It's just going to be more to talk about and argue about on Twitter, and it's just going to be amazing. But
I think it's gonna be great TV. I'm all about it.
I'm excited for the TV part. I really hope that, one, that students' careers and things don't get ruined with injuries, and 2, I'm really hope that I don't get really sad when A&M still can't get in the playoff when there's 12 teams allowed.
Oh my
Uh,
goodness.
That's gonna be super
Anyways.
sad. All right, hey, and on that note, we're gonna take a quick pause, everybody. And we are back. Thank you to our sponsors for sponsoring this episode. If you would like to sponsor this episode, please contact us directly at fikpodcast@gmail.com. All right. That's enough. That's enough random news for the week. We're going to very briefly talk about some predictions for our teams week 1 of the NFL season. And then we are going to get into this amazing slate of college football that we just got to observe and enjoy this past weekend. So starting off, we already talked about it a little bit in episode 1. If you haven't watched it yet, give it a listen. It's a good one.
3 hours of your life.
Yeah. 2 hours, 44 minutes, 38 seconds. It's going to be great.
There you go.
We got 10 home dogs this week, and we've actually seen, we were looking at this pre-podcast recording. There's been a lot of movement on some of these lines. I think one of the biggest movers is the Chiefs are now 5.5 point favorites at the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know. I mean, I know that there's no D-Hop. We'll get there when we get there, but something to be aware of that Vegas knows what is happening and we do not. So be careful.
Unfortunately.
Be careful betting.
But we're looking to put them out of
big-
business.
Yeah, we are. The one big home dog would be Chicago. Do they really trust Trey Lance that much after preseason football?
I think that the 49ers could beat the Bears without a quarterback.
They could just put Debo, just give Debo the ball.
I think they could direct snap the ball to Debo every play, and their defense is going to eat Justin Fields in that offensive line.
That offensive line is so bad.
I think I'm that's definitely a game. If I was betting, I'd be throwing the under on that game. Because I don't think that
41. It's 41. That seems so low.
I think the Bears score under 10, and I don't see the Niners getting to 30. So that's why I'm saying that. But we'll get more into that later on. We also have 6 division games going on. So those are important games early in the season when teams don't know each other or know what they're going to be. I mean, that's a chance to, if you're the Chargers or the Raiders, you got a chance to get a important win in a division that is going to be dog, eat dog, eat dog, eat dog, and they're just going to murder each other the whole time.
Just be the bigger dog.
Yeah, just got to be the bigger dog. Same with the AFC East has a couple as well. So I think there's some chances for teams to take advantage of those, but we're just going to go around the horn real quick. Little preseason. How do we feel about our teams going into the season? We're going to start off with Shane and the New Orleans Saints with famous Jameis and his new eyes. How are we feeling going into the 2022-2023 season?
It's not a good feeling. Like I said, my hot take that I don't like to think about is probably a top 3 draft pick coming off the board for the New Orleans Saints this next offseason. However, with this game against Atlanta, I assume that they're throwing Mr. Marcos Mariota out there as QB1.
He is QB1.
Yeah, I feel a little bit better about him starting against that defense. I still think, unfortunately, Atlanta's going to win this game. And it's going to be the start to a great season for the New Orleans Saints to go get a good quarterback so we don't have a crab leg stealing, grabbing son of a gun as our QB1 next year. That's the only positives I'm trying to find.
I like Jameis.
I think Jameis is giving us some of the most electrifying
You
moments
guys
in
just
the
like
NFL,
Jameis
so.
because he's going to throw 40 touchdowns, but throw 45
No,
interceptions.
I like
40
watching
for
his
40.
warm-ups.
His warm-ups
I like
exciting.
watching his warm-ups.
He's got great
speeches
celebrations.
is where it's at. He's eating them dubs.
He's great. He is great for video content for the New Orleans Saints Twitter handle. But other than that, not great.
My
pretty
question,
bad.
can we see, I think we will see the whole game from the New Orleans Saints with the reverse wildcat formation. They're going to just, instead of doing 2 running backs, we're going 2 QBs in the backfield at all times.
I'm in.
I just want to see that. I want to see what happens.
If it was Sean Payton, I'd be all in on that.
We'll bring back the triple option, and we'll just give it to Taysom. I don't want him playing quarterback, but just give the ball to Taysom.
He can't play quarterback. If he plays quarterback, they'll owe him like $40 million.
Yep. I think a lot of that
but
it hits the cap too.
Yeah.
Line it. It does. A big part that Fugay's $177 or something $1 million contract. Yeah, I mean, I can't remember at this rate. Yeah, he's got to play quarterback, and he's going to be some rich some gun. So if you're the Saints, you can't put him at quarterback, but you can throw him in the side as a slot guy
string?
running a triple option. Third string, I think, is the dude from Notre Dame.
They dropped Ian Book.
Oh, they dropped. Okay, we'll see. I didn't even know that.
Does it count as him playing to quarterback if they just snap it to the running back and then he hands it off to Taysom Hill and then they throw the ball? He did not take the snap, so he's not the quarterback.
I think you run out the spread. You've got Jameis taking the snap. You've got Taysom on one hill, and you got the Red Rocket on the other end. And you've got the possibilities are endless. It's probably terrible football, but you got a lot of interceptions and a lot of fun to watch.
What are you talking about? You got the slant god is back. No one runs the slant better than Michael Thomas. Dude's a monster.
He'll be out.
He's gonna have to have 4 touchdowns, receiving touchdowns a game, and then he's gonna have to run that back in the backfield with Kamara if he doesn't get suspended for some odd
Oh,
and
we lost
There you
Shane.
go.
he got
Shane, go call Elon Musk and get a better internet service.
Yeah. Where you at, Elon?
All right, Shane, I muted you for podcast sake because your audio is terrible. And that's the New Orleans Saints, everybody. We're going to move it on. Let's talk about, we're going to stay in the NFC East with America's team. We're talking about the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, them boys.
Who did pick
All
up
right.
Jason Peters this week, which is a big get.
That's part of the
big
problem.
pickup. Big pickup.
Well, here's the thing. So last season, right, we're going into the 2021 season. Cowboys are looking good. We're feeling good. We got some dudes. We're watching them Hard Knocks. Absolutely look like a good team. They go 12-5. They win the division. And you could not have a more pessimistic group of people than Cowboys fans going into the season. They lost Tyron Smith for the year, basically.
Don't worry. They have the greatest left tackle who led the NCAA in penalties. It's fine.
Their draft pick is leading the NCAA, which is a lot of teams. That's 128 teams in penalties.
But
First
dog,
round.
he's a dog.
I'm sure he is, but my man, even in the preseason, couldn't stop false starting. And then they pick up a 40-year-old Jason Peters. I mean, the dude's 40 years old.
Hey,
We
they
have
could have
Dak.
had Whitworth too. I mean, he's young.
Well, he's also about 75. So it's not looking good for the boys. I mean, Amari Cooper's gone. I guess we're expecting CD Lamb to be wide receiver number 1. Dak, I mean, he looked decent for last season. The good news is they got rid of Greg the Leg. I don't even know who the kicker is anymore. And
Isn't
it's
it?
not
Isn't
looking
it
good for
Brett?
the boys.
I think it's Brett Maher. I think
I
Brett
think
Maher
it is.
won
Yes,
the
it is
job.
Brett Maher. Yeah, it is actually.
So we just
Uh,
full circle.
Yeah, it's not looking good. The boys are the good news. The good news for the Cowboys is their division is going to be terrible. The fact that I think they were 2.5-point underdogs against the Bucks week 1.
I
That
think it
seems
opened.
like
I think it opened 1.5, but they're up to 2.5.
yeah, I think it's up to 2.5. That seems like a low number, but also I know Tom Brady is not necessarily known for fast starts. But yeah,
It is in Dallas this year too. So
I'm not too optimistic about the old Cowboys. And I think Mike McCarthy's a bad coach.
I mean, he's 3 losses a year minimum, just
Yeah, I
on
think
his
he's-
coaching.
Yeah, I mean, he'll do some stupid stuff. I mean, he doesn't know when to call timeouts. He wastes them when he doesn't need to, and then there'll be 10 seconds on the clock, and my guy won't call a timeout until it hits 1 to give him one more play. I mean, it's just it's a jumbled mess. But their division's bad.
If the Cowboys fumble it this year, is old Sean Payton coming to coach the Star next year?
I think that Jerry Jones is waiting for Sean Payton to take over the team next year.
Yeah, I think
They're
that's
still
happening
coaching the
regardless.
Dallas Cowboys.
I think the only
I think Mike McCarthy's a placeholder.
only way Mike McCarthy keeps his job is, in my opinion, an NFC championship.
I agree because they went 12-5, won the division, and they lost to San Francisco in an ugly, ugly, ugly football game.
At home.
The offense looked putrid. They couldn't do anything.
Surprise, surprise. I think that happened in every good football team that they played last year. I think they only scored 19 against the Chiefs. Or sorry, no, they scored 9. The Chiefs scored 19. They lost 19-9 to the Chiefs, which the Chiefs do not have a good defense.
And the offense looked terrible. But they had 6 games against their division, which was terrible. So that helps you get to 12-5.
That is true. All right. Do you think they're going to beat the Bucks though at home, or do you think they're going to lose to the Bucks at home week 1?
The only thing about the Bucks is I feel like every year they kind of start out kind of slow. And Tom Brady's away for 11 days. Not to say that Tom Brady will do anything bad because he's Tom Brady, but he's been away. He was away for 11 days in the middle of training camp. That's at least somewhat significant.
They also lost like 3 out of their 5 offensive linemen, and Micah Parsons
Jensen's
is very good, and so is DeMarcus Lawrence is great, or whoever. I can't remember which one they kept.
I certainly wouldn't put any money on that one.
The
Stay far away from that one.
But did Tom on 11 days try and double on Mr. Rogers' ayahuasca trip to get super ready for the season?
That could be. Honestly, he's probably having a little bit of an experience down
Some
in
avocado
Costa Rica.
Tequila, maybe.
It was a double dose
with
of
an ayahuasca.
I like it. All right, let's hit the AFC side of the board now. Both of our teams are in the AFC West, so Jonathan and I have a lot of fun here.
You are.
I have recently had a lot more fun than he has, but in the past it was all.
But I'm about to have a lot more fun than you have.
I agree. I agree with you. Once again, man, we are hitting some unprecedented ground. We agreed twice last week, and we've already agreed once today. So yeah, the Chiefs play the Cardinals in Arizona week 1, and they're 5.5-point favorites. Hammer the Birds on that one. Although there is no D-Hop for the Cardinals, so that is interesting. Preseason wise, Mahomes actually played more than I thought he was going to. Every single drive that he played, they scored a touchdown, so that's not terrible. But wide receivers are already getting injured. Juju's already getting injured. MVS is already picking up injuries. So it's like Hardman cannot be a number 1. I think Tyreek is going to be a problem. Travis Kelce, I say this every year. There's no way he can keep putting up the same numbers as he gets this old, but maybe he can. I don't know. I think he would be the number 2 wide receiver over the past 5 years, and he plays tight end. I think he's just behind
He's pretty much
Devontae.
a beast.
He's a
Yeah.
monster.
How big of a difference does Tyreek make?
Huge.
Okay.
He's a game changer. He's the one that so I love listening to some smarter people than me, even though this is the smartest group on the internet when it comes to football, who will tell you that defensive coordinators, when they see Tyreek's name healthy, they have to plan for him. We don't have one of those anymore.
You think that helped Travis Kelce reach those numbers, and now it goes downhill?
I mean, he put up great numbers. I don't think he can put up as good of numbers, but he's always put up good numbers with or without Tyreek. I mean, and the stats will actually show you that Mahomes and the Chiefs have a pretty solid record without Tyreek through injuries and suspensions and things like that. But I think the biggest problem is we addressed the secondary. I don't know if that means it's good, but we have like 5 rookies in the secondary. So it's like we got new players at least, but our defensive line is just pathetic. So that's not going to go great. So yeah, we'll see.
How old is Kelce?
I mean, in tight ends age, he's approaching about 65, but probably he's actually not that old. I don't know off the top of my head. He's been around for a while. I mean, he played with Alex Smith back in the day. So that's at least 5. He's
been around for a while. But like you said, he's been beat to hell for every year he's been in the league.
He actually doesn't take super big hits all the time. He's got that weird little body feint he does all the time and just kind of gets down.
JJ Watt.
But I do think he's getting to that age where you're going to become more injury prone for sure. But yeah, I think I am optimistic-ish about the Chiefs season this year. I don't think they will win the division. I think they will still make the playoffs. I think the Chiefs double-digit games.
The Chiefs are one of the more interesting teams to watch because of what they lost and because of how good they've been in the past, and they play in such a dang good division.
Oh, I mean, our schedule is ridiculous. We play both teams, I think, that played in the Super Bowl. We still have to play the Bucs. We play the NFC West. Like, it's just our season sucks. It's gonna. I could literally you could play all of those games close and have you could be 6-11 at the end of the year, and everyone will say that you're bad.
Yeah,
but you could actually be a decent football.
Your schedule's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and that's the whole AFC West. So the AFC West not only is going to beat up on each other because they're good, but also they have to play the NFC West, the other best division in football. And
I think the winner of y'all's division could very well be 9-8, 10-7.
I think they got to win it. I think they'll at least win 10.
But even if it's that, it's not the NFC East situation where every team was just bad. No, every team is that good.
Yeah, and I think everyone will understand that. Also, we wanted to shout out for our Chiefs who predicted the LIV Golf Tour when they won the Super Bowl that year. So LIV, Absolutely. Also get at us for sponsorship if you would like to. That'd be awesome. All right,
Live Golf. We love shorts.
Yep. Last thing we got going on in the NFL, we got the Raiders.
The Raiders.
What their expectations are? They play the Chargers at home. No, they play the Chargers in Los Angeles.
At LA.
All right.
First
crap.
What?
Sorry. My man just got knocked out. I was watching a UFC fight. My man just got knocked the hell out.
This is professional podcast.
First, I would like to point out that, and this is not Raider talk, but this is Chief talk. I like your rookie. I like Sky. I like him a lot. I think he's going to be good for y'all. I think he could be a place filler while you guys figure out what the offense looks like without Tyreek busting the top.
I mean, I trust Andy Reid when it
Yeah.
comes to creating an offense for sure.
He's a great coach. But let's get on to bigger and better things. The Raiders. I honestly look at our schedule
It's not fun.
and dude, it's not as bad as y'all's.
Oh, I knew he was going to say some
It's
baloney.
still
It's the same
still not
schedule,
fun.
basically.
I mean,
No.
we're a better football team than you, so that's fine.
No, that's not true at all. So the first 5 weeks, yeah, could be rough. Chargers, Arizona, Tennessee, Denver, Kansas City. 5 weeks, right?
could
I
easily be
think we
0-5.
get out there with 3 wins. Then we have bye week, but after that, it's like Houston, New Orleans, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, Denver, Seattle, Chargers again, then LA, Rams, New England, Pitt, San Francisco, Kansas City. That's really not that. I mean, it's not as rough of a schedule.
No, it
could be.
definitely is not, because I don't know if you know this, Jonathan, but how well you end up the year before determines
No,
your strength of schedule.
I'm well aware.
So when the Chiefs have been just amazing for like 5 years in a row and y'all have not,
No,
we get harder
for sure.
schedules.
For sure. But here's the thing. I'm totally fine with that. We have the squad this year. We got some dogs.
I think Devontae Adams actually does not move the needle for me at all when it comes to going to the Raiders. What's more important than all of that is y'all fixed your defense. That's the thing that scares me the most.
No, our defensive line is good. And the secondary is the question. That's the question. But Devontae Adams absolutely moves the needle. The dude's an animal. On top of the fact of good luck, because now I got my 6 foot, 170-pound white boy about to tear your freaking team apart.
I do
running
love me some
crisp
Hunter Renfro.
routes. Hunter Renfro is going to fucking destroy people because he is going to be alone because Devontae Adams is going to be taking all the attention away. It's
That's the question.
incredible.
Who is Carr going to throw to on third down? Is he going to
Darren
Adams
Waller.
or is he going to go? No, Hunter Renfro.
He's
is the
going to
safety.
Renfro.
He's going to go
Give
to
Renfro
Renfro,
the ball.
Adams, or Waller. That's,
Yeah, but
that's it. And
how
then we
long
got
till
Josh
Adams
Jacobs
gets
running
upset?
for his fucking lifeline here.
How do they do week 1?
That's the hard game for me.
The Chargers go
The
for it on
Chargers are
4th
gonna
and
be
10
good.
on their own.
And
The
25
Chargers
yard
go
line.
for it, 4th and
That's
10.
the question. But at least they go for it. You know what? At least they go for it.
In the first quarter, also. They're going to go for it on 4th and 10 on their own 25 in the first quarter.
Give the Raiders
they're
7
gonna
points
lose.
off the bat.
And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say, try it. Just try it.
Oh, that's not a threat to them. They're going to do it regardless.
No, because here's the thing, man. I think Max Crosby is one of the best defensive players in the league this year, hands down.
I think I can name at least.
No, I'm telling you, it's
I
not
think he's-
happening this year.
I think he's number 5 purely in just his position. in
No,
the
I'm
NFL.
telling you, this year he's gonna be one of the best in the league,
Johnny,
hands down.
have you heard of
TJ.
JJ Watt?
JJ Swat, baby. His
Have you
brother
heard of-
better
I was
than
I was
Garrett.
gonna say, have you heard of his
Miles
brother?
Garrett,
Miles Garrett.
TJ Watts.
No, I'm
Chandler
telling you,
Jones.
Crosby's coming, baby. Crosby's coming.
We'll see. It could be. It's a prediction. We'll
Sauce
see.
Gardner.
It's
Both-
coming,
bo-
dude. I'm
both
telling you.
Bosas.
Jonathan Abrams is going to have his best year yet, as long as he doesn't get beat deep every freaking time. The dude just wants to hit people. It's great. I love hitting people. Chandler Jones added to the defense. Fantastic. Let's just do it. Let's do it.
Landry from the Tennessee Titans. I mean, I can just keep naming people better than Max Crosby all
don't
day.
worry about that. Don't worry about that. It's gonna happen, man. I'm just telling you. I gave you compliments, Austin. I said Sky's gonna be good.
I gave you compliments. I said you improved your defense.
Yeah. My defense is gonna be
Big
great.
moment.
Offense is gonna
I
be
talked
great.
about how great Hunter Renfro is.
Hunter Renfro
And then
is the coldest white boy on the offensive side of the ball in the game right now.
Christian McCaffrey.
Cooper Cup.
Christian McCaffrey.
Tom
Cooper
Brady.
Cup led
Yeah,
in
you're right.
the
No,
four
never
major
mind. Never mind. I take
categories.
it back. I take it back.
I was like, Cooper
There's a
Cup
lot of white
won,
dudes in the league.
Cooper Cup won the Triple Crown and also
I take
had
it
a-
back.
You were
Cooper
assuming
Cup-
that Hunter Renfro was the only white guy in the league. You racist son of a gun.
All right. Hey,
All
that
right, Joe, calm down.
Anyways, Raiders are going
Sorry.
17-0.
Raiders.
do you think the Raiders beat the Chargers at home? Or sorry, at Los Angeles?
I think it'd be a good game.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't answer my question.
I think we win. I think
All
we
right.
win.
All right.
I mean, we
yeah.
could have just taken a knee for both of us to make the playoffs last year, but we didn't. So
Sajia wasn't about that life.
I think there's a really, really solid chance that all of our teams are we're 0 for 4. I think we could all lose our first game. So
somebody, yeah.
I mean,
we're
that's
winning our first one. Don't worry about that.
negative
That's
Nancy
very
Austin.
possible.
Negative Nancy
Very
Austin always
possible.
here.
We're all pretty negative besides Jonathan this year.
Yeah.
Dude,
All
I'm not a
right.
negative person when it comes to my teams. And
I'm prepared to be surprised, but I'm not
Hey,
anticipating anything great.
You know the team that we can make Jonathan negative on? Let's transition to college football. Let's talk about the University of Texas at Austin. All right. Hey, so we'll talk about the Death Star first. UT played Louisiana Monroe. Louisiana Monroe sucks. I basically wrote down a couple things about how ESPN is the master of clickbaiting people based off of the University of Texas at Austin and the Dallas Cowboys, I would say, but they didn't have that this week. But their game was easy as you like. They dominated. Quinn Ewers did throw an interception on his second throw, but
his first completion was
one.
to a different team.
I will say this was dream. This was
his
dream scenario for ESPN. The fact that they
Yeah.
won by 40. They
Won by
couldn't hype
41.
up the Alabama game all week.
yeah,
They
I will
should
say
have
that-
won by 40.
college game day is there this week.
Yeah. I will say I was watching them talk about it on TV, and they weren't as optimistic about it as I thought they might be. They were all saying, like, if Texas keeps it within 20, then they might say Texas is a decent team.
It was really interesting. They actually Sark kind of shut Quinn down after that pick. Like they went more college style. They dinked and dunked a lot. Like, so if you look at it, if you look at it, Quinn's numbers aren't terrible, but
they're not.
They're also not like college.
But a lot of his
Bryce Young
two of the
numbers.
touchdowns I saw. How many touchdowns did he have? 2?
Just 2.
At least one of them that I saw. I mean, it's just like screen passes, let the receiver go.
No, both of them
Playing against ULM. Both of them were, weren't they?
Both of them. They weren't necessarily. One was to Bijan out in the flat. So, and then the other one was
They're
to
just a little.
Bijan
just like a
looks
little-
good.
their tight end Sanders
gonna
or
be
whatever. Their
He's a
tight
stud.
end that they have, who was just a freak. He just was coming out of high school he was listed as an athlete, and they were trying to decide if they're gonna have him play D end or if they're gonna have him play tight end. And I think Sark's offensive minded, so he put him on the offensive side of the ball. He's a freak athlete, but yeah, his touchdown, he caught the ball and tried to give a little move because he expected there to be a guy right there, and then he turned and there was no one there, and he walked into the end zone. So
I think ULM was one of the worst teams in Division I last year, so it's not
yeah,
shocking.
ULM was not great. But let's talk more
In the
about how. Oh, go ahead.
Wait,
Shane.
in the most TU thing ever, did y'all see Quinn Ewers' car got towed during the game?
Yeah.
Dog,
So-
Did you see what Sark said?
I have a
Yeah.
He said
theory.
he needs to
Uh-uh.
learn where to park. He said he needs to learn where to park.
I think that was actually. I have a theory as well. Go ahead, Jonathan. Let's hit us with your
I
theory.
think Austin and I might agree here again.
I think so.
I
I
think-
might be with y'all.
I think the tow company knew where he parked, and the
This is my
first
theory.
interception, they just said, "Okay, he's done.
No, that's
Get
not
him
my
out of
theory.
here."
No. I think Sark's comment was a dig at Quinn
I
Ewers,
thought so too.
and that Quinn was running late, and so he just parked close by, and because he was
Oh,
running
shit.
late, and he just threw his car in a spot where he clearly was not supposed to park.
So
That's
he
my
just
thing.
thought he was
I
hot
think
shit.
I think Sark
I
is
thought it was
trying
a
to.
dig too.
Yeah, I thought it was a dig. But I mean, in like, it's still a very tame dig. But I think that was kind of a like, hey man, you need to learn. Like, you need to be
The
here
world
on
ain't yours
time.
yet.
Because
the world
there's
ain't
no
yours
way.
yet.
Why are the students driving to the football stadium?
There
Two,
has to be a parking lot for them.
there has clearly got to be a parking lot. But
That was
then
my
I-
thought.
Has to
But
That was
be.
my thought.
my thought, I don't know. I know a lot of our listeners probably have never been downtown Austin on a game day, but the traffic is crazy. So I think Quinn was running late and just parked in a no parking zone and then ran into the stadium because he was running behind. That's my
Austin-
theory on it.
I have a theory that most of our viewers currently have all been in downtown Austin on game day.
No. This is gonna blow up internationally. We have a really big following.
Diverse.
Really
And I'll
We have a
take
big
this
following in
opportunity to say
Sweden.
hi, Mom.
Yeah,
It's
Indonesia.
a big
how we
following
doing?
in Sweden.
Yeah.
Actually, we should change the name to Football is King so they think we're talking about football.
I heard
that'd
the
be kinda
North
scary.
Koreans tune in like it's going out of style.
Kim Jong-un loves us.
All right.
just
Here we go.
talking
I do want to transition. Let's talk about ESPN and their amazing hot takes. Number one, the ESPN FPI says that Texas has one of the largest chances to make the college football playoffs at 11.3%.
That's so stupid.
They also came out with their power rankings this week, and they put UT as the 7th best team in the country, and Texas A&M at 21 were the two things that I wrote down from this football game. So, I mean, apparently all you got to do is beat ULM, and you are a top 10 football team. So, can we put them on the schedule? That'd be awesome. Is it too late?
I don't know what they base those things on. I think it's a lot on like it's got to be on schedule and stuff like that.
I
and
mean,
I'm like,
the
maybe
Big 12 is weak this year, so I get that
they have
part.
Baylor and Oklahoma. They have Baylor and Oklahoma.
And I don't think either of them are actually that awesome, to be honest.
I don't either. Can't.
No, they're not.
Oklahoma looked decent.
I do like Brett Venables a lot.
I
think
like
I
he's
Brett
don't.
good.
I think
Venables
Brett.
a lot.
I think Venables is trash.
Better than
He's
Sark.
trash.
He looks like this is gonna get us canceled. He looks like he needs to see a doctor.
Hey, can we not say things that are going to get us canceled? That'd be awesome.
He looks like he needs to see a doctor.
I'm serious.
I'm not too high on the Big 12 this year. I think Baylor's okay. I think Oklahoma's okay. And I think Texas is okay.
I think
But
we
you
won't
have
know.
no one else there.
I don't think we know anything about any of the teams in the Big 12 until they play
That's true.
some
Nobody
strong out
played
of
anyone.
conference. The Big 12, I will say, is an exciting conference because anyone beats anyone. I will give them that. Last year, like
Kansas.
if you transitive property, everyone beat everyone. So it's
Kansas.
love
so
transitive
it's
property.
Can
interesting.
you imagine if Vanderbilt just went around one game a year and beat one of the best teams in the SEC?
Hey, Vanderbilt's 2-0. Put some respect on that name.
Could
Yeah.
you imagine though? Could you imagine
And
if we made it normal? If it was okay for Vanderbilt to go out and beat
also,
Alabama,
Vanderbilt
once
is the
every
smartest team in
couple of
America.
years.
They're the smartest team in America. They literally traveled a week to Hawaii to then pound Hawaii. So they got a free trip out of the deal,
Yeah.
and they pounded them.
Hawaii might be
Hawaii
the
is
worst team in football.
absolutely the worst team in college football.
That's who Michigan's playing, right? Hawaii.
Yes.
Yeah, 51
Like
point
50-point
51
favorites.
point favorites. Yeah.
That's insane.
All right,
That
hey.
might be a
Anyways.
positive spread for the rainbows or
The
whatever.
Rainbow
they're called.
Warriors. Let's transition to them good old Ags now. In a 31-0 home win against Sam Houston that was delayed for longer than the football game actually lasted.
That was unbelievable.
God really wanted to watch the Aggie band play, I think is what it was. He really loves watching them zigzag back and forth. But I just wanted to grab y'all are heavily invested A&M fans. I wanted to hear some opinions on what we thought.
I have a couple thoughts.
I figured.
Our offensive line our offensive line was definitely a makeshift offensive line.
It was
We're
scary.
missing Bryce Foster.
It's huge.
Layden Robinson has a high ankle sprain. He's a little injured. Our guy, Aggie, or whatever his name is, that might be the worst offensive lineman I've ever seen in my life. He looked like half the time I rewatched the no huddle version of the game. Half the time they would hike the ball and he would look around and he couldn't find anyone to block. He had no clue where he was going, which is just bad coaching. It's got to be bad coaching. But he literally would be like looking for somebody to block. He didn't see anyone. He was awful. I think Haynes King is exactly like A&M fans clamored for so many years when Kellen Mond was our quarterback. Like, he's too conservative. He doesn't want to go deep. Haynes King is the exact opposite of that. That my man's going deep every single play, to his detriment probably. But I think if he has more time to throw the ball, he probably does better. But man, our offensive line is bad.
Yeah, I really thought that was the strength of our offense last year. I mean, we had some
Yes.
our running backs were good last year as well, but I think the offensive line will always make running backs look better. I do not know what the stat is of what our longest rush was, but it was not long.
It was 11 yards. 11
Yes,
yards.
I think it was 11 or 12 yards.
It was 11 yards.
If we cannot spring a chain on a Sam Houston, I'm scared for the future because his speed is so crucial to the offense.
We'll have the offensive line back.
Well, Foster has mono. Apparently, mono can take 3 months to overcome.
Mono can be brutal.
Yeah.
Mono.
But here's the thing: is so I was listening to Texags this morning. Shout out to Texags.
Texags, if you would like to sponsor us as well,
David
hit us up
Newton.
at
If you'd like to bring us on,
FIKpodcast@gmail.com.
that'd be great. We'll be a sideshow for you. But I was listening to them, and Nuno was reading off stats of last year's Colorado game. And it was all like the running game. It's like 12 yards, longest run.
We also couldn't run the ball at the beginning of last year.
Yeah, they did not look good in the first few games last year. And then the line started figuring it out. I think we need to calm down. It's only week 1. I think we need to calm down. I texted Blake this. Or no, I texted the group text this. We're playing Appalachian State, right? Appalachian, whatever. And Blake's all worried that they put up 40 points in the fourth quarter on North Carolina.
Yeah, that's a lot of
North
points.
Carolina is one of the worst defenses in the country.
That's a shit ton of points.
Agreed. I'm not
Our
doubting that.
defense
FAMU put 24
good.
on them.
Our defense looked good. I also wanted to point this out. So I want to make this point real quick. I just screenshotted this to make the point because we were just talking about the Death Star over there. So Quinn Ewers, who nationally they said, oh, he looked pretty good. Like he had a rough start, but then turned out pretty good. Quinn Ewers went 16 of 24 for 225 yards, averaged 9.4 yards a throw, had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception with a QBR of 72.4.
That's not terrible for your first college football game ever.
My boy Haynes King, who I think will get better. I think he underthrew a lot of balls. I think he
threw into quadruple coverage multiple times.
You're about to say a statistic that's going to say how many interceptions he threw, but his interception number should have been 7.
No, for sure. Absolutely. He got saved on a few throws.
They could not catch a football.
He went 20 of 31 for 364 yards on an average of 11.7 yards a throw or completion with 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. The QBR was god awful.
The thing that scared me the most about Haynes is that those 2 interceptions, it should have been 6. It wasn't even that he's inaccurate.
No, he should have had 4 tops.
He was throwing into
4. Quadruple coverage.
4 is also not a good number for interceptions.
No, yes, I agree.
He was throwing to guy. He wasn't progressing through the play. He had his guy. locked in on who he was going to throw to beforehand, and it did not matter if it was
For
double
sure.
or triple or that one time quadruple coverage. He's going to throw that ball, especially on third down. There were so many
But
plays with our receivers on a crossing route that were just open, and I wrote down our receivers looked super dangerous in wide
Dude.
and when they in open space, which is the first time in a long time that our receivers have looked talented.
Evans
We have the
threw
fastest
it.
group of receivers I've ever seen at Texas.
I was
A&M.
like, just throw it to him short and let them go to work. But
Evans
That
is
Yulkeith
so
Brown
gonna
guy?
be a dog.
Yulkeith Brown, I've never even heard of in my life. Dude was unbelievable.
But he
but
was a
we
stud.
were so he was so just determined on, all right, Jimbo gave me this play. This is who I'm supposed to throw it to. I'm going to throw it, and hopefully he makes a play instead of progressing from read number 1 to read number 2. I don't think he needs to go all the way through at this point. Like, he doesn't need to get to read number 4 or 5. If I'm Jimbo, I'm telling him, you look at read 1, you look at read 2, and if neither of them are there, you tuck it and you go immediately. Because that's
Yeah, I mean, he
think
had
that's
like
when he'll be
36
successful.
rushing yards.
Okay, I will say with Haynes, they call him a dual threat. He's not a dual threat because he's fast, but he's not quick. Second of all, it seemed like Jimbo, and before the game, Jimbo even said, like, we're gonna make big plays, or we're gonna go for big plays. It seemed like he harped so much on we're gonna make big plays, we're gonna make big plays, and that's all Haynes could think was we're making big plays.
That
I think
I know,
that's an easy thing to fix, but
yeah,
it
and I know
definitely had me
Jimbo does have that, semi-famous quote of, like, the sign of a good quarterback is one who does not have to use his legs. I disagree in college football. I think if you see, I think if you see man coverage and everyone is covering their guy and you have a lane, you go.
You go.
Go.
Haynes
Yeah,
is
go.
not quick though. He might be fast. He is not quick.
But if it's man
all.
coverage, all he has to do is get through that line of scrimmage, and then it is just open speed or open field where he can just be fast. Like, once he gets going,
which is true.
Once he gets going, it's gonna be, Vince Young-esque of just, he looks like he's gliding across the field and just slow motion.
He's not like a dual threat like a Kyler Murray or a Johnny or like
He's
any of
going
those
in a
guys.
straight line as fast as he can.
He's a Daniel Jones. He's a Daniel Jones dual threat. Just hopefully he doesn't trip.
We'll see. We're playing the mighty Appalachian State next week. Ooh.
I actually think this is a good test for prior to Miami.
That was my question. As someone who didn't get to watch much, is it fixable? That's my question. Is it fixable?
I think so.
It's just decision making.
It depends on what you call fixable, like what your expectation is. I think that it is easily improvable. I don't think we're all of a sudden going to look like Stetson Bennett and Georgia's defense or anything like that. Like, I don't think we're going to be Georgia all of a sudden or Alabama.
I will say, did anyone make it to the second half?
I did. I watched the whole game.
The second half, the line did look better. Still not great. Did look better though.
See, I didn't really pay attention or think about like how this is an effect in the second half, because you don't know how, Sam Houston at that point, the game was already over.
Agreed.
They waited in the locker room for 3.5 hours, or our players, like, you don't know.
Yeah. But the first drive, Jimbo obviously said we're about to run the ball, because I think the first 10 plays of the second half, he ran the ball every single time.
I was fine with that.
I was too. I was like, you got to do something here. We still didn't run the ball great.
We need to get the run game going on Saturday early.
Agreed.
I think we won't know what we are until after week 3. I think. Well, that's not true. If we lose to App State, we'll know who we are week 2.
Oh yeah.
But if we beat App State, then Miami's going to be the game.
So
yeah. Yep.
Okay. Theoretically, if we lose to App State,
we don't lose to App State, but yes.
No, listen.
I'm sad. I'm inconsolably sad.
I understand. No, listen. Because you were saying if we lose to App State,
season's over.
If not, we need to.
Yeah, but that's an obvious thing. If you lose to App State, you're losing 7 SEC games.
No, but here's the thing: if you lose to App State and then handily beat Miami, what does that make you?
You don't.
That makes us.
That's not true at all.
No, I got it.
Literally watch college football every year, and you watch some team get beat by nobody, and then they go out and beat a ranked team.
That makes you the Minnesota Vikings of college football. That's what it does. It makes you the Minnesota Vikings of college football.
I will die.
I mean,
if
I
we lose
think
App State.
I told Blake this week that I think we are perfectly fine with App State. I think what they
I think we'll
put
beat
on
App State.
North
I want
Carolina
to score
is-
more than 31 points. I
I
want to
think
score.
we win a game. We win a game like 42-24, like 42-17, something like
I
that.
just want. I want to look. I want to look good on offense. That's what I
Agreed.
want.
That's agreed.
Or so really, I want to look good on every side of the ball. But I want.
See,
I want
I would be more
significant
content-
improvement in the offense.
I would be more content on a lower score if we could just hold teams to 7 or 10 or whatnot.
I think
mean,
there's a chance, but their quarterback's great. He went 25-26 in the last game. I'm
Hey,
pretty sure, something like that.
There's no reason
that's
that.
fine. He went 25-26 against North Carolina, who might have the worst defense in the country.
Agreed.
Hey,
but that's still pretty
also, I guarantee you, North Carolina doesn't have a good offense, and they scored 63. So if we're only scoring in the 20s or the
No,
low
that's
30s,
true.
we
That's
need
solid argument.
That's going to show me, hey, our offense is in trouble.
I also
Nah,
want to point out that Conference USA next year will have Sam Houston. So it's not like Sam Houston's just like a slum team.
good. And Sam Houston has like 8 former D1 guys. They had a Texas guy. They had a
They're
they had
BJ
a
Foster.
former D1.
Yeah,
BJ
they had
Foster. He had a pick.
BJ Foster. He got the
Long
ug-
pick.
the
in the
ugly
end zone.
pig.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
real ugly one.
They
don't know.
they have some guys, dude. Like
Yeah,
they're-
I think we
but
win. We win in
should've
the
handled that.
20s. It's all good. Yeah, we win in the 20s. We're
I'm
good.
I'm thinking like 42-17, and I'm fine with that. 17's
I'm
a lot
okay
to
with
give up, but
42-17.
42-17 would be fine.
I
I
would
would like
love
to.
to see us hold App and Miami to under. I'll say 20. I'll say
Yeah.
if we get 17, I'm happy.
Against App, I want to score 40 points.
Yeah.
That would be my goal.
Got
I
I
think
would
we'll
agree
come
with that.
out looking a lot better on offense this week. So
Yeah. All right. Hey, speaking of Appalachian State, we're gonna go. So that typically we're gonna talk about the Texas teams the most, especially Texas A&M, because that's where we bleed maroon here on the Football is King podcast. Well, we're gonna jump around now real quick. Some quick hits, we might say,
Texas.
around the college football slate. Because oh my Lanta, we had some games that just had the heart rate going up and down. And I think the first one on the list is that Appalachian State North Carolina game where Appalachian State scored 40 points in the fourth quarter and lost.
What were
a
they down
football
by?
game.
They were down by 20 something in the fourth
20
quarter.
something in the fourth quarter.
yes.
I mean, I think in the last 31 seconds, 3 touchdowns were scored. If you count like,
I think it was 5 in the last like minute and a half.
yeah, Appalachian State
It was something
scores,
stupid.
kicks the onside kick because they went for 2 for the win, didn't get it. The North Carolina hands team
was-
had the greatest blocks ever. I don't know if y'all watched.
Yeah, I
Bro.
watched it. All
The
4 dudes. all
Appalachian
4
State
Bro.
dudes just get obliterated, and then
Yeah.
they return it for a touchdown. Appalachian State drives right down the field, and then like I think they
30
only had like
seconds.
21 seconds or something on the
or
clock.
21
They-
seconds.
Did,
Yeah.
did
They
you
score a
see the
touchdown.
next one? Did you
I
see
mean-
the kick after that?
Yeah, it was
They
beautiful.
literally cowered down because they just got blown the hell up.
They got obliterated.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So
But
yeah,
listen,
it was.
as a person that bet App State prior to the game, I literally in the fourth quarter I said, "Oh, it's dead," and then all of a sudden I flipped back and I think they were down by 7, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And then North Carolina scored to make it go up 14, and I was like, "Oh, dang it!" And they still almost tied the dang game.
It was a great game. It's a show of why college football is the most exciting, probably of all the sports, besides maybe some
'cause
March
who-
college basketball.
Yeah.
But also it also shows you why NFL is a better sport to watch because
It's better football, 100%.
it's better football because
But I love it. I love all the craziness.
the special teams in college football this week were atrocious.
Unless you're the Iowa Hawkeyes,
Atrocious. Unless you're Iowa, who
well, they won a game 7-3.
They
with
won
2
a game
safeties.
without scoring a touchdown on
A
offense,
touchdown.
7-3. Iowa is incredible. They're the hands down. I think we can all agree. Iowa Hawkeyes are the worst team to watch in college football. Like their offense.
Oh, it was.
is
But
so
you have
boring.
to admit, did you tune in for it?
Yeah, I tuned in for a little bit.
It was. I did too. It was awesome. 7-3. They had 2 safeties. That game deserved to end 5-3, and it would have been a much better story if it was 5-3. That 7-3 was pretty
Someone
fulfilling.
would have thought it was like the girls' soccer game score instead. Yeah. All right. I think the other just crazy high scoring game that happened this weekend, or I guess it wasn't in the weekend, but this past week one was the West Virginia Pitt game. I know that Jonathan has very strong opinions on this. So let's go to Jonathan in the corner over there. Please tell us all your strong opinions about two teams that 99% of the world doesn't care about.
It's 4th and 1, 4th and inches really. And in 2 minutes, like I think it was like 2:45 left in the game.
Were they tied at this point? I can't
No.
remember.
No, West Virginia was up. West Virginia was winning. And they punt the fucking football.
They don't trust analytics.
It is. They had a running back averaging, I think at that point in the game, he was averaging 12 yards a fucking carry.
I think it was more than that. I thought it was 20.
How? How do you not run it?
He had seven carries for 120. He was averaging 18 yards a carry.
Like you should be fired. You should be fired for that play alone. That's disgusting.
Maybe the running back came over and said, "Coach, I'm really tired. I keep getting 18 yards every time. I'm not used to
No, he only carried the ball 7 times. He only carried the ball 7 times.
That's 7 and 10.
He was a true freshman. He was a true freshman, though.
4th and 1. If you get a first down, game's over. It's over. It's over. And instead, they punt it away. Pitt scores. West Virginia gets the ball back. West Virginia then proceeds to throw an open pass where it bounces off the dude's face mask into the defense for a pick 6.
Didn't you feel terrible for that dude, though? He played the greatest game of his life.
Oh, he played so good. He played so good.
I guarantee you that poor kid has had more death threats since that game than he's ever seen in his life.
He played the greatest game of his life, and that's how it ended.
That kid shouldn't be getting death threats. The damn coach should be getting death threats. The coach punted the ball.
I would like to say that the Football is King podcast does not think that anyone should be sending death threats to anyone.
But
please and thank
you know what I mean? The dude literally punted the ball.
It's just sports, everybody. It's just sports. Just for life.
It's life. Football is king. Football is life.
Football is king.
If you play conservatively, you'll lose a football game. That's the moral of the story. Don't play conservatively.
Unless it's the first quarter or the first half.
But if you're the Los Angeles,
oh my god!
If you're the Los Angeles Chargers, you need to play.
If you're the Chargers, but he should have caught. We do not at this podcast condone death threats, but he should have caught that football.
Absolutely, he should have caught the football. And if he went to A&M, I'd be pretty pissed, and I would be like, I hate that kid.
It's the curse of JT Daniels. It's the curse of JT Daniels.
All right, let's keep it going with our quick hits here. The other most exciting game probably of the weekend was one that I personally feel is going to hit a little close to home for Shane because it reminds me of a Jacksonville New Orleans Saints game way back when. Florida State and LSU. There's something going on in the Bayou down there in Louisiana with game-tying touchdowns and missed extra points.
But did you see Kayshon Boutte, that first touchdown for LSU, or there's going to be a touchdown? He threw it right in his chest. It hit off his chest, and he wasn't even looking for the ball. He is checked out, my friends. He is out.
This was an ugly football game.
You cannot miss. Special teams got to be better.
Well, this one was not missed. This one, 100%, not the kicker's fault.
Blocked.
Screw you, Skip Bayless.
Skip Bayless.
Kickers are people too.
And they're an important part of the game, clearly.
They're super important. But whoever is the left
throw them out with the band.
Whoever is the left end blocker for LSU,
he played Ole defense.
They should. I don't know if he has a scholarship. His scholarship should be cut if he has one, though. Especially if any NIL deals, cancel those. He let 3 dudes go past him, and he didn't touch a single one. He's looking like Texas A&M's offensive lineman, just like, oh, am I supposed to do something here? All right, okay, there we go.
Did y'all see what Brian Kelly did today?
No.
He strikes me as a guy that's totally lost himself. The media showed up late today, And he
Oh
said
my
something
God, I
like,
saw
he said
this.
something like, well, that'd be a $10 fine or something if it was whatever, saying they were late. And the lady responded and said, well, maybe if you'd win, I'd show up on time.
Dude, what a roast.
He's trying to be Belichick. That's what he's trying
Yeah,
to
he
do.
is.
Did he-
I think a
He's-
lot of coaches are trying to
did
do
he-
this Belichick, Greg Popovich kind of style of, and it only works if you are a serial winner.
Good. Yeah.
Well, you have to be a winner and you have to naturally be a dick. So,
Yeah.
like,
And you have to do it.
Yeah, he just
And
you got to
there's
kind of
only
do it
two
in a
coaches,
playful
like
way
you said,
too.
that can get away with that.
Yeah, you can. I think you got to do it.
it was not
like,
playful at all. It
I
was like
know.
he was trying to show her up, and then she
Like-
was like, well, if you'd win.
like I think
That was
Belichick and
great.
Pop, the thing that is like makes it good for them is sometimes you can't tell whether they're being mean or if they're being joking.
Yes.
Like if they're joking. Other times you're like, ooh, you made them
Yeah,
mad.
yeah.
But and sometimes they're clearly joking, but it's the ones with them where they're towing the line is where it's interesting for me.
Yeah.
Also, Keishawn Butte and the other guy who turned out he was Butte, the other guy that would drop the punt returns, both scrubbed their Instagrams of all LSU immediately after the game.
Nice. Also, if you are the coach, if your guy has muffed a punt, he never goes
Take him
back.
out.
He's not
Yeah,
out there
be done.
again. What
No.
are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Also, if you are the Florida State coach, you didn't have to run any plays and you win the football game. Just
At
sit
the
on
end,
sit on the ball. What are you doing?
Yep.
Why are we running a pitch play? What is happening?
that's what I was saying. There was, especially don't run a pitch play where you have the risk. Like those short little pitch plays are so scary because I feel like the ball comes so quick at the running back and they don't know where it's coming. They drop
And
it.
it's really hard. The quarterback has to turn very quick to get it pitched to where
Yeah.
it's supposed to go. Just
And you do
if
it-
you're if you're gonna run a play, just QB sneak
Hand it
4
off,
times. Do
or
whatever.
QB
Or
sneak.
hand it off. Do whatever. But
Hey,
in
did
college football,
Brian
they take
Kelly-
40 seconds off the clock each time. So just take a knee.
Yeah.
Let them call their timeouts. Worst case scenario, you kick a field goal, you go up by 10.
Did Brian Kelly bust out the Southern accent for this press conference?
No, he
He
just
didn't-
screamed all day, every day. He was so
I
pissed
actually,
all the
he
time.
seemed disconnected at the beginning. He seemed totally disconnected. Things were going terribly. They would show him on the sideline. He was never saying a word to any of his coordinators. Nothing. He was just standing there with his headset on like this, just looking. And I'm like, if my coach is not saying anything, what's the problem here? Then towards the end, he just started yelling at the coordinators and
Did
yelling
you-
at the players.
Did
He
you
was
see what he
calculating how much
said at
money he makes
half?
per minute.
Did you see what he said at halftime?
No, I didn't see
I
it.
can't see how we could play any worse. Something
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
I did see that.
And he goes,
And then he was like,
well,
"Oh
it's
wait,
my first
I
game.
haven't been
Maybe we
here."
can.
Yeah.
And then they proceeded to come out and look like absolute dog shit.
Yeah, LSU's terrible. That
They're
SEC,
terrible.
SEC would be undefeated.
Could you
otherwise.
imagine
Better not lose
firing
to this
a
year.
national title winning coach for a guy that fakes an accent and probably won't get you to a bowl game this year?
Are you talking about
No, that-
Ed Orgeron? Ed Orgeron.
I would have
should be
fired Ed
fired.
Orgeron. I would have fired Ed Orgeron, but I would have tried to get Napier out of your own backyard.
He's
Yeah,
a
I'm not
national
saying-
title.
Okay, but have you the national title? I am 100% on is not due to Ed Orgeron at all.
Still
Uh,
won a national title.
Those players were. I started to think that Joe Burrow was calling his own plays. Just like, hey, Ed.
Maybe
just,
he was.
Let me go. I'm just gonna throw it to these two guys, and they're gonna dominate everybody.
His offensive coordinator's at the Panthers, right? Like,
Yeah, Joe Brady.
yeah, Joe
Whatever,
Brady's at
terrible
the
in the NFL.
Panthers. He hasn't done anything. Maybe Joe Burrow was the offensive coordinator
Hey.
and quarterback. for
Oh,
that team.
You don't know, Joe Brady has
got
Baker.
fired from the Panthers.
Yeah, he's gone.
Is
He's
he?
somewhere else now.
Oh, that's right.
gone.
No, it's because Matt Rule had to throw someone else under the bus before Matt Rule
Yeah,
gets fired.
Joe Brady might be back in college.
I think
How
Joe Brady
much-
was
no,
a
I
great
think-
No, he's
college
at the
offensive
Bills.
coordinator. I think
He's
he
the
was a
Bills.
great.
he was.
He was
yeah.
a great offensive coordinator for
He's the qu-
college football, not
He's
for
the
quarterback
quarterback
coach.
coach for the Bills, isn't he?
Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Oh,
is.
Oh,
How
yeah,
much
Josh
did
Allen
Scott,
needs lots of help.
How much does Scott Woodward pay Brian Kelly to go to LSU? 10 mil a year?
I thought it was somewhere up there, 9 or 10.
It's got to be less than that because
That's
isn't Saban's deal only $9 million and he's
Saban's
No,
It's
Saban
12.
Saban just signed one for about
No.
13 or 14.
13 or 14.
Yeah. Brian Kelly is 100 million over 10 years.
There you go.
and Nick Saban, we can all agree, is still the most underpaid coach in the whole world. Still.
They really
I'd give
should.
him,
They really
I'd give
should.
him whatever he wants.
They really should make Nick Saban the dean of Alabama, and maybe Alabama people could read. You know.
All right,
Wow,
and we're moving
unnecessary shots
on.
there to Alabama. Well, we just
Let's-
isolated all of our listeners in Alabama.
Hey, our Swedish listeners don't know where Alabama is, so it's
I
fine.
spent 4 years in the great state of Alabama, and it was a good time.
Let's talk
I
ab-
thoroughly
hey.
love Alabama. I'm just more of an Auburn guy.
Let's talk about our top
That's
25
in Alabama,
matchups.
you idiot.
That was
Yeah,
not
no,
great.
I know. I don't like Tuscaloosa. I like
Alabama.
Auburn.
All of our Alabama fans, you can somehow communicate with Jonathan. I don't know what his socials are, but you can figure it out and just roast him. For
Oh,
his stupidity.
at me, bro. At me.
All right.
Come at me.
Email us fikpodcast@gmail.com.
Wait, do we actually have an email?
Yeah, we have an email.
Oh, dude, this is amazing.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk
This
about top.
Twitter handle's coming soon.
Yeah, Twitter handle is coming soon. Top
Blake's gonna
25
rage
matchups.
drunk tweet for you.
We had the
down.
Oregon Ducks play the Georgia Bulldogs in
Yeah, that's
a neutral field game
Bulldogs.
in Atlanta, Georgia, which is Georgia does this every year, and I think it's total BS. It's a
it's
Georgia home
genius.
game in a stadium bigger than their home stadium and indoors, so it's even louder. But Georgia, possibly a good football team. Thoughts?
yeah, their defensive line and their offensive line, for that matter, made Oregon's line look like, I don't know, kindergartners.
Us in
And
middle
you can
school.
say what you want about Stetson Bennett. I would love to have Stetson Bennett on my team. The
Stetson
dude,
Bennett looks incredible.
The dude's
he
a
does.
dog.
He just makes the right play.
Yeah.
That's what he just makes the right play.
Now, they're open on every play.
Agreed. And he has 20
At least
seconds to
against
the ball.
Oregon, yeah, their guys were open all day, every day. That number 84 with the slightly inappropriate sounding name, I don't remember what it is. Dude was always open.
They have
and
three.
made
They have
some
three
great
unbelievable
plays.
tight ends.
Yeah,
Three
it was-
unbelievable tight ends.
Isn't he like 6'8", 280?
Yeah, 6'8". Yeah, he's 6'8". He's a,
He,
he's
like,
a, I think
my
he's a
own-
he
true
was
freshman.
throwing humans off of him like they were little children.
He's their
Grown
third
men.
string tight end, I swear.
And their
Yeah.
freshmen playing in the secondary looked amazing. That interception that freshman made, like the long ball that Bo Nix, who Oregon for some reason decided he'll be a good quarterback, even though he hasn't been for Auburn.
Hey, he's their
Uh,
starter. They said today he
Yeah.
is the starter.
I mean, I'll give Bo Nix a little bit of credit. It's hard to play Georgia.
He had no
defense.
chance.
But that pick that freshman caught, full extension, diving backwards,
Yeah.
was incredible. I was like, golly, their
Unbelievable.
freshmen are nuts.
What I came out of the weekend is we're just going to see Alabama and Georgia play each other again.
Oh, for sure. Twice.
It's going to be a repeat. I actually hope Georgia wins again. Like, if I can't have A&M win a national title and I have to watch these two teams do it, I hope Georgia beats the living dog shit out of Alabama again. And Nick Saban sits there and goes, what the fuck? Like, what am I supposed to do right now?
Actually, I'm still throwing Ohio State in the ring. I think they're going to get it figured
I-
out.
I was not surprised, but I was not impressed by how
They
Ohio State
looked
played.
like shit.
Maybe Notre Dame is finally actually good.
Nope.
But Notre Dame
Don't think that's
was
it
literally.
either.
I don't either, because Notre Dame was literally just playing the clock the entire game. They weren't
Okay.
trying to do anything on offense.
Maybe Notre Dame's defense is good.
Notre
And
Dame's defense is good. I agree with that.
But I think Ohio State, they got plenty of time and lots of cupcakes in the Big Ten to get that confidence going and get that offense to be humming by the
Just
end of.
get beat by 30 and
I literally think Notre Dame's strategy in that game was just don't get blown out. Like, they're going to play as slow as they possibly can, just kind of dink and dump up the field and get a first down every once in a while, waste a bunch of time. Their defense was good, but they literally played not to get blown out.
what I think is there is 8 teams in the SEC that could go through and just railroad most of the other conferences, no matter what.
I don't think that is true of Ohio State, but
No, I don't think Ohio State's that good.
I think they're
Well,
probably in
hey.
the top 5.
I think
think we're
Ohio
about to
State and
see
Michigan
what-
would be amazing teams in the SEC. I think they would still be pretty good.
I would agree with that.
I don't see it.
I don't think we know enough. It's the
I-
first game. Probably don't know enough to even
But we're
decide
here
too
to we're
much.
here to say all the hot takes that we can. So
The hot take is the SEC West would railroad most conferences in
hey,
the
SEC was 13-1. LSU was
LSU fucked that up.
LSU screwed it up, but Shane, you were talking. What were you gonna say?
If you can hear me, my two big notes are Travion Henderson, the running back, is good as hell, and Ohio State's receivers are what we thought they were. They're good.
Their offense didn't impress me that much, though, to be
Their
honest
offense
with you.
did not impress, especially if they're supposed to be one of the best offenses of all time. But I think they'll get there.
Probably.
All right. Real quick, we had Cincinnati, Arkansas was another big top 25 preseason thing or whatever. These teams are both not very good. Arkansas
Teams are bad.
Arkansas secondary specifically was garbage. If the Cincinnati
Yeah.
quarterback could throw it to someone who was wide open, then they could have scored 60 in the third
If
quarter alone.
Desmond Ritter was still the quarterback, they probably win the game by
Yeah.
20.
But
Sam Pittman though.
SEC did their job,
no.
won a game. And already, boom, we have eliminated Cincinnati from the playoffs. So good right there.
That's it.
Good
Because
job.
they showed during the game like their schedule, and I think they had the 96th weakest strength of schedule for the rest of the season after playing
That sounds bad.
Arkansas. They didn't
They'll
play a
probably lose
super
another
ranked team.
3 games.
Yeah, so Cincinnati doesn't have it this year. Arkansas is going to be a mid SEC West team, probably at best. Hopefully A&M beats them. And
I'm
finally,
thinking about going to that game if anyone wants to join.
Nope. I've been there once and lost, so I'm done.
Well, yeah, you also had to pull me away from. Well, actually, you didn't even pull me away. You left me in a crowd of.
Yeah,
Arkansas
we
fans.
lost. I'm not getting a fight after we lose,
yeah, I am unavailable that weekend, so I
unless
also
it's
will not be there.
59-0.
Shane.
All right. Anyways,
We did have one big upset. We'll talk about that. A top 10 team lost week 1 to an unranked Florida Gators in the swamp. The
Pump
Utes
fake
of Utah.
spin move.
Pump fake spin move.
Straight out of 2K.
So I was watching this game with my dad. My dad had the Utah Utes in this game.
Wow.
How do you throw a pick with 17 seconds on the clock from the 4-yard line when all you need is a field goal? You throw it into double coverage. It was a mistake. Florida looked good, though. Florida looked good.
That was my thought. Florida does not look bad. Utah is overrated.
Utah lost some people.
that's a tough beginning of the year game for them too.
And you think about how they finished, though. The reason why they're number 7 is because of the way that they played Ohio State in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
So
they still have their quarterback, but they go to Florida where that's going to be the best environment they play in all year. It's humid as can be.
Did you see that kid just hurling his guts out on the sideline?
Right when ESPN was literally saying the humidity really could be playing an effect on Utah, and the kid's like, ugh! It was red. It was disgusting.
It was gross. It was
red.
Bright red. I thought that,
and it's sprayed. That was a legit hose.
I thought that they were going to have to rush that kid to the hospital. I was like, is he bleeding internally?
He did it twice, and they kept the camera on him. I'm like, give this kid a break.
Yeah.
The Pac-12 took a lashing this
the
week.
Pac-12 dead.
I think plenty of teams took a lashing.
It's dead.
Or plenty of conferences. I mean, I don't think the ACC looked great. I think they know that they don't look great too because they're all trying to leave the ACC.
Yep.
So, college football is going to get crazy over the next few years with all the realignments. All right.
I'm really excited for Clemson and Florida State to join the SEC. It's going to be great.
Especially if they keep playing terribly, then that'll be nice.
But
they'll be in the East. We're never even going to play them anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Let's wrap it up, gentlemen, for today, for week 1. We'll have plenty to talk about next week because we will have professional and college football to talk about next week. Really we'll start to get to understand what the college football teams start to look like. And we're going to do this whole process with the NFL with Our team's good. Are they bad? It's week 1. We will overreact to it all next Tuesday.
Overreact, baby.
Well, it'll be posted on Wednesday for all of our listeners out there. But we are going to start a new segment at the end of every episode where we are going to pick 3 games each against the spread, a little friendly competition amongst the gentlemen here. Also, just nice gambling advice for all of our degenerates out there who want to throw some money around and make some money. But we'll keep track throughout the year. We'll have a prize for the winner or a punishment for the loser. We haven't decided yet. We came up with this idea not too long ago.
Pick
But here we
some
go.
wild games for punishment. I didn't know that was a thing. So
I mean, it's throughout the whole season, so you got plenty of time to catch up after you go 0-3 this week. It's fine. I bet college football, which I never do. So here we go. We all kind of have 3 games. We're playing against the spread. Blake, we will start with you.
All
Talk
right,
us through your 3 games that you picked.
My first game, I'm going with the Titans -5.5. I think the Giants, I don't know that the Titans are that good, but I think the Giants are just bad. And I believe the Titans are at home. So I will take them -5.5. I will then take the Cardinals +6. The NFL, I feel like at home +6. The Chiefs, I'm taking the Cardinals +6. That's just a feeling. And then I'm also taking Duke +9.5 against Northwestern. I don't think Northwestern's a great football team. They beat Nebraska, and I think Duke won like 30-0 this week. So giving them nearly 10 points, that's a lot of points.
Mike Elko.
Yeah, I think, and I mean, Northwestern only beats Nebraska because Scott Frost.
Scott Frost is terrible.
So you gotta always take into account the Scott Frost effect when you're betting college football. All right, Shane, we'll bring it on over to you. What 3 games did you pick this week? Maybe we won't go to Shane. Shane, can you hear us over there?
Okay, I'm back.
What's your
Can you
picks?
hear me?
What 3 picks did you pick this? What 3 games did you pick this week?
Sorry. I've got the Colts -7 against the Texans. I got the Bills -2.5, and then my main win outright is Baylor +3.5. That's a lot. Take it to the bank.
The Bills pick is actually a really good pick. I think the stats of the teams that won the Super Bowl in the first week losing their first game is like incredibly high. So
I tried against Dallas last year.
I tried to look it up to figure out the exact stat, and I could not find an exact stat, but I know just from Football Watch that it's atrocious. So that's one reason I picked that.
All right. Jonathan, what do you got going on this week?
All right. I think these are the 3 games that I gave the group earlier.
I can change it if we need to, based off what you tell me now.
Okay, I'm going with Georgia State +7.5.
Prisoner of the moment here.
Against North Carolina because their offense was atrocious and their defense was worse than atrocious. So
it scored 63 points.
Dude, it doesn't matter. They're like they played App State sucked.
Anyways, continue on with your picks.
I took Arkansas -9 over South Carolina. I don't think the hype's not. I'm not riding that train. You know, I'm not in. And then I am going to go ahead and take Texas Tech -3 to Houston Cougars.
All right. Yeah.
All 3 are college picks. So
hey, I went with 2 college picks, and I never bet college football. So
I just
we're gonna see how things go.
Austin, you and I are just different. I just think college game is just better.
Vegas makes more money on college football than anything else. Like they dominate college football.
It's a blast.
But I went with 1 risky and then 2 just absolutely guaranteed locks this week. I'm taking the Kentucky Wildcats +5 on the road at Florida. I think
I like that pick.
I think that everyone is just going to over exaggerate on the Florida Gators. I think that line
Yeah.
is actually by Saturday going to be up way above 5 points as well. But I'm taking it with the 5 because we record this on a Tuesday, and that's what the line says right now. It's going to be hard for me to ever go against my one true love, the meeps of UTSA. I'm taking UTSA -2 this weekend. They're a good football team, man. They're a good
They
team.
were good on Saturday.
They're a good football team. They're going to whoop up on
They
some
should have
people.
beat Houston.
That was a great game.
They're going to whoop up on some people this year. So I think being 2-point favorites, easy money. And then the Denver Broncos are playing the Seattle Seahawks. A Russell Wilson revenge game. I've been waiting for this number to go above 7 the whole time, and it just hasn't. So there's something there that might be a little fishy. But I'm taking the Denver Broncos -6.5 on the road. One of the classic week 1 home puppies situation. But I'm taking the Broncos by a touchdown over the Seahawks because the Seahawks have no quarterback.
I like it. I like that.
All right. And that'll do it, ladies and gentlemen.
I do want to say one thing.
Never mind. It's not going to do it.
Perfect. I'm on 2%.
I want to say one thing. I know when we open the intro, we say 4 guys that never played anything more than middle school, and then Blake chimed in that he played freshman year. I would take us 4 in 5th grade over anyone, dude. Like 5th grade front yard. Let's go. We got Shane, the speedster. We got some wide receivers out here. We could really lay it out in the front yard. All right?
Shane's ACL injury just ruined
just ruined his
ruined
career.
our team.
Nothing about him
was-
never hitting over like 150 pounds his entire life, but like
I was the next Boobie Williams, and that ACL injury just ruined it all.
Mojo, baby. God made
Right,
Booby
well,
beautiful.
This is where we are going to sign off for this week. As always, we hope that your team wins, except for Jonathan's teams.
this
That
guy.
also any bets that you place are winners. But please always remember to gamble responsibly. And FanDuel Sportsbook money would be awesome. Hit us up
Put
at
it all on
FIK
black.
Podcast at
ATL United, baby. Let's
FIK
go.
Podcast at gmail.com.
He's from Texas, not even from Georgia.
All right. Have a good week. We will see y'all next time.